Good morning, everybody. It is Friday. It is, I don't know, some month, some day of that month. And we're doing this close up stream from my phone in the old way. So if we get bad resolution or bad frame rate or whatever, apologies in advance. Absolutely nothing I can do about it when we use this method. But it was either this or no close up this morning because I just don't have the time to set up the good camera and all that stuff. It takes a little more effort and preparation. So I apologize. But I wanted to do this just long enough for you guys to get to see all the kittens and to chat with me for just a minute or two. It's hopefully going to be a bit of a short one. I kind of have a plan to do a different kind of close-up later today if I manage to get to it, but we'll talk about that when I get to what I'm doing today. All right, let's let these kids out. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Open the door, you monster. Look, we got little paws coming underneath. They're so cute. They are all going to zoom out the minute I open the door. So let's see how much of this we can see. Here we go. What? Hi. Okay. Well, that was a little anticlimactic, but they are all in a hurry to get out. I'm going to sneeze. Give me a second. Oh. Oh, that's scared. Okay. Oh, whoa. Oh my goodness. Sorry. My allergies have been a little bit over the top because I keep forgetting to take my allergy meds. I did take them this morning, but just a few minutes ago, so I don't think they've had a chance to kick in yet. Sorry about that. So there's Bombay saying hello to us. Yeah, it's also spring, which doesn't help. Like if there's a time that I'm going to forget to take my allergy meds, this is the worst time to forget to do that. But it is what it is. I'll get over it. Just sorry. Yeah, some of you may know I am allergic to a few things like tree pollen and cats, believe it or not. And it's, long story, but the short version is I went to an allergist and we got some professional treatment and it actually helps quite a bit, still does, I think. But if I forget to take my daily meds, then I'm still a mess. All right, so let's talk about the kittens. That's what we're here for, is just to chat with these guys for a minute, chat about these guys for a minute. The 7 oranges, of course, and plus their mom 8, are all in great shape. You can see that they are running around. They're having so much fun. We did have a little incident yesterday where 3 of them got their collars off at the same time, and I wasn't 100% sure on the close-up who was who, but we've verified it a few different ways now. We've got all the collars on the right kittens, so no worries there. We did figure it out, and I feel even more confident that if it happens again, we could figure it out again. But rest assured that nobody's going to try to adopt Rio and get Bombay on accident, unless, of course, DJ decides to switch kittens out because she has to keep one. Anyway, I did see someone ask about what I take for the allergies. Really, I think the thing that makes the biggest difference is go to see a real allergist. They have this treatment that they do that takes months, and you have to go in like every week for a while. And I can't remember what they call it, but it's basically to get you acclimated to the things that you're allergic to in a very medical, scientific-y way. And I found it to be highly effective for me. That plus there's some other things too. Like I said, I do take stuff every day, but that's for stuff for you to discuss with your allergist. I'm not a doctor, but DJ's a doctor, but she doesn't give out any advice on streams. So, all right. Anyway, kids are doing very well. Oh, hey, thank you. I see somebody, Mrs. Alandre, saying, sounds like Port is teaching boundaries. So that's something I really need to talk about is, yes, we've had a lot of people contact us either by email or on the Discord chat or by all the various ways that we are contactable to let us know that Port has been beating up her kids, or at least that's what most of the people say about it. And she does once in a while. You'll see she'll be in the room, and she seems like, for all appearances, she will pick one of the kids and just go up to them and hit them, and then they run away. And it doesn't seem like a very fun game for anybody, and it might not be. So that's happening. We're aware that it's happening. We don't. The important thing is that she's not causing any harm to anybody, and that's, I think, the most important thing. A lot of people that have written to us say, "Why is she doing that?" And I'll be frank. I don't have the slightest idea why she's doing that. I think if we understood cat behavior, we probably would understand a lot more about the whole universe than we do these days. So why is something I don't even try to answer most of the time. I'll just admit we don't know why. But whatever it is that's making her do it, she's clearly not actually going to cause them any harm. Not even psychological harm. As you can see, they're all very well adjusted and happy little kittens. And for all I know, it might be an important lesson for them to learn that, sometimes you just have to be sort of submissive to another cat. And that's something that is a lesson that might help them out later in life. If you said that she's trying to teach them that lesson, I would say, nah, I don't believe that for a second. Now, if it has the effect of them learning that lesson, great. But wow, to, think that Port is genius enough to know that she's got to teach her kids that, and this is the way, it's really given her a little too much credit, probably. At any rate, what we're doing about it is I'm trying to keep Port out of the room a little more often, and I keep an eye on her when she's in there, but when it happens, it's so quick, there's probably nothing we could do to prevent it. So all that I really need is for you guys to know, we know, that we don't think that it's going to cause anybody any trouble, and that we're trying to minimize it as best we can. So that's it in a nutshell, I think. So thank you for reminding me. Immunotherapy, yes, that is what they call the allergy thing. Thank you so much. Anyway, that's the thing about Port. So if you do see that, whoa, wow, I just tripped on a kitten. He's fine, by the way. He probably just thinks I'm like his mom now. I should take my shoes off for the rest of this close-up. I'm breaking the rules of no shoes. You guys have probably seen me wearing shoes a little more often than I ever used to, and the reason is that I'm trying to take care of my foot health. But we don't need to get into that. That's another thing that would be just way off topic. So, all right, I'm fine. All the kittens are fine. Oh, they are so zoomy this morning, aren't they? It's just crazy. Yeah, like Megalina said, it's fine. It's definitely fine to be concerned about Port, and it's definitely fine to ask about it. And in fact, I appreciate that you do. It's something. It's great to know that everybody is concerned about them, and that if something goes wrong, you're going to let us know. And I just want to respond to that by letting you know we got it. Message received. And we're keeping an eye on her, and we're doing our best to keep it to a minimum. And I think you all know, if there were, problem, if it gets past a certain point where we think that there is a chance for her to cause any harm, which I really don't, then we would separate her, and she just wouldn't go around her kittens anymore. And that's something that we can do and did, like for Brooke. So, no worries, I think is my point. These kids are much bigger than Pebble was when Brooke started that behavior, and I think much more aware, much more able to sort of deal with it. So, and they're fine. Whoa, and they're crazy. So much craziness this morning. Beverly Costanzo, yes. Well, you're right about that too. Can you imagine if you had to trace around 7 kids all day for 2 months, and yeah, everything that Port's been through. But I don't think that there's really any of that aspect to it, but it's funny, and if it helps folks sort of understand in a way that helps them, that's good. I think that's cute, though. Oh, I just threw your ball, and you didn't see where it went. I'm sorry, Hal. It's like I just took it away for no reason. All right, well, let's see. One of the reasons that I did the close-up stream this way is because I did want to talk to you about Millet, and I want to show you Millet, and I want to show you everybody. And even though this version, this way of streaming doesn't look quite as nice as the other way, it does tend to stay connected a little better if we want to go upstairs and walk around the house, which I think we want to do. So, if you want to keep watching these particular kittens do this particular stuff, tune into the Kitten Academy live stream. While we were sitting here, I just moved this camera to point into the room so you can watch them right meow. And if you flip over there right now, I won't blame you a bit. We are going to go see Millet, and normally I would say something about our no sads policy and about how, if you feel at all squeamish about anything, you may want to tune out. But honestly, Millet's doing great, and you're going to see Millet's doing great. And we put Millet in one of the suits, the surgical suit that his mom's been in, so you're not going to be seeing anything that you haven't been seeing anyway. These guys are about to unplug one of the cameras. So that's my point. I don't think there's anything to warn anybody about. If you really like these kittens though, and you don't really care about Millet, definitely flip over to the regular Kitten Academy live stream. You can watch these kids right meow. Hey, well, we're walking upstairs. That's a good point. There is a new mom coming on Saturday, and that's still the plan, is for a new mom to come on Saturday. It's a different new mom than the one I told you about. The one that I told you about had her babies already. But the fine people at the Danbury Animal Welfare Society that help us find cats and kittens found a different mom cat that needed to be fostered. And so she will be here on Saturday instead of the one we originally planned. It's basically a case of everything's different, nothing's changed. That's what we got. It's a good deal, right? Okay, we're going to wrap up with Millet at the end, so we're not going to go in to see Millet yet. First, let's just pop in. Whoa. Hang on. Corny. Corn, please come back in, Corn. Come on. Corn's like, I don't want to go back in the room. Come on, buddy. So Corn and Flower are in here. Here we go. Hi. And as you know, Corn and Flower are getting adopted tomorrow after mailbag. Oh boy, I forgot about that myself. I would have brought a tripod and we could get their waves on the camera because that's a tradition. What do you think? Do you think we can do that anyway? Let's see if I can set this up without a tripod real quick. Impromptu, because I planned this all so well, but we should do it right now just to make sure it's not forgotten. And it's going to be like 2 pixels on the screen. So whatever. You know what? I'm trying. Whoa. Are you sure you want to stop streaming? No, I'm sure I don't. Thank you. All right, let's try. So here's Corn. Corn is purring and playing and being so cute. Bye-bye. He's going to get adopted tomorrow after mailbag, like I said. Oh, one more try. Say goodbye with your mom right here looking at the camera being silly. Oh, okay. You're being silly. You're being silly. No, you're being silly. Okay. And here is Flower. And like I mentioned, Corn and Flower are getting adopted together. They're going to be best buds for the rest of their lives out near Hartford, Connecticut, I think, if I remember right. Okay, let's see if we can wave together. Oh, hey, that's not bad for a group wave. We tried anyway. All right. So, they are getting adopted together. They're going tomorrow after mailbag, and that's really all I know. Afternoon. The person that's adopting them seems so excited to meet them, and so I'm really happy about that. They don't seem like much of a social media person, but I plan on really twisting their arm and maybe, like standing in front of their car and not letting them leave until they promise to give us all updates on these two and how they're doing. I can do that. I would do that for you guys. So we'll see. I'll do everything I can to make sure that happens one way or another. And I'll be sure to let you know how it all goes. Of course, these adoptions don't happen on the camera so much anymore. That reminds me of something else. Now that we've seen these two, Corn has been so sweet. He is really turning into the sweetest boy. He is, as you can see, he's so affectionate, and he just wants to snuggle, and he purrs, and he does that thing where he, in the morning he comes in and he wants to groom my eyebrows. He did that again this morning to say hello to me and snuggle up on the pillow and just loud purr. Such a sweetheart. And then, as you know, his mom has always been a snuggly sweetheart. She kind of makes you come to her rather than coming to you like Corn does. But she'll just let you hold her like a baby and pet her, and she loves it endlessly. And then, of course, the two of them together are insane. They play, they wrestle, they love each other, they snuggle. They're going to be so good together. So, such a great pair to be adopted together. I'm going to be really sad to have them gone, but I won't have any time to slow down and think about it because, like I said, there's a new mom cat coming in tomorrow, and we've got Millet, and we've got all the oranges and lots of stuff to take care of. So That's how I cope. I don't know about you guys. We cope by just making sure that we don't have time to stop. Okay, let's see. Are Ryan Potatoes Adopter on Discord or Twitter? They are technically on Discord, but I haven't really seen them participate there. They do still email me once in a while and let me know that they're doing great, and they are doing great. I'm so happy for them. So that's good. Um, all right, so let's talk about Millet. But before we do talk about Millet, I want to take care of. Hi, yes, okay. I really want to do something about the fact that I've got these allergies and they're driving my nose nuts. Hang on a second here. Hang on, Corn. I need to. Whoa, Corn. I need to ask you to stay in there for just a little bit longer, though. Hang on, buddy. You'll get to come out soon. Soon. I promise. Okay. Here's what we're gonna do. This is unprecedented. I'm gonna ask you to wait right here for 2 seconds while I blow my nose. I'm not gonna do it right in the camera, and I don't know how to mute the stream on the phone. So give me just 1 second. Oh, I feel better. I don't know about you guys. I feel so much better. All right. So let's go in and see Millet. Now, Millet has the second annex and is going to be right at the door. Hi, Millie. And then we can talk all about him. I still always wanted to call Millet a her. DJ does the same thing with Puget. So here is our little Millie Beans. And you can see he is doing fine. There we go. If he looks a little barrel chested, it's because he's got a great big splint on the outside of his chest. He's climbing right up to snuggle with my head. Ugh. Yes, I'm glad to see you too, buddy. All right. Okay, but let's talk about you. So he went to the vet a couple days ago. We picked him up yesterday. He stayed there overnight one night. The vets loved him so much. They just couldn't say enough about it. In fact, when I went to go pick him up yesterday, I had to stand in the lobby area. It's like a sort of an antechamber. And I was waiting in there for them to bring him up. And all of a sudden, I hear all the girls at the reception saying, "Oh, he's so cute." I could hear them all the way out in the sort of waiting area. I knew that they were bringing him out, and that's what it was. So they all love him, and they all had a ton of praise for how social and sweet and just great he is in every way. I had to agree with all that. And I am so impressed that right from the very minute that he came home, he has been happy and adjusted well and doesn't seem like he's got the slightest issue with anything that's going on with him. When he came in yesterday, he was wearing a cone and a sweater thing, a mesh sweater that they had put on him, which was nice, and they wanted us to stick with that. But I discovered yesterday that he could get his feet underneath his splint, and I was afraid that he would do that while we weren't watching and sort of yank on it, which wouldn't be great. So we put him in this surgical suit to keep that from being a possibility. So now he can't get anything under it. And it seems like he's doing just fine that way. Now, the reason that he's in his own room is that they want us to make sure that he doesn't do anything too active, especially jumping on things or off of things. And there is no way to stop him from doing that except to just not give him anything to jump onto. So that's what we've done. I'm probably going to move the beanbag chair out today because even that's a little bit extreme. He hasn't shown any desire to get up on this or on that, but if he does, I'll take them out as well. He is just constantly rubbing on me here. He won't slow down for a second. And that's basically what he's been doing since he got home, is just being super affectionate, and he needs on all of his stuff. And it's hard to even get him settled down for a nap because he just wants to spend all of his time being lovey-dovey. Also, DJ was saying, excuse me, I should mention, the reason that the flat bed is in here is not only because it makes a wonderful place for us to hang out while we're in here with him, but DJ spent all night in here keeping watch on him and sleeping in here with him last night, which was so over the top wonderful for her to volunteer to do that. considering that she's got a real job that she had to go to today. But I think she did it pretty responsibly. Anyway, so that's why the bed's in here. Also, it makes just a really nice thing to hang out on that's nice and flat that he can't jump onto or off of. Um, let's see, where was I going with that? I was saying, oh yeah, we're going to probably move the beanbag chair out because he likes to keep getting up on that. And we don't want him to have to be jumping up and down off of it all the time. But that's why he's got his own room, because we did take him out for a long time last night and brought him into the master bedroom. But if we're going to let him out, we've got to be on him like a hawk. Like we've got to watch every single thing he does, because it only takes half a second for a little kitten to decide to zoom away and jump onto or off of something or wrestle with his brothers or just do something he shouldn't do. Like it takes no time at all. So he only gets to go out when we are going to be super actively hyper vigilant, which, we don't get to do all the time, but he'll get to come out for a little while every day at least. And I'm sure we'll probably take turns sleeping in here with him too, to keep him extra company. Now, all of this is, of course, to correct his pectus excavatum, I should have mentioned. That's the syndrome where your chest is deformed, so it goes inward at the end real sharp. And the fact that it goes in like that has been sort of compressing all of his insides and making it a little bit hard for him to breathe. And also, I think it's been making it a little bit hard for him to eat. You would notice that he is, like a full pound lighter than any of his brothers. And that's almost certainly why. Plus, when he was a little tiny kitten, he still had the same problem then. And I had to tube feed him for a long time because he couldn't nurse effectively. So that's all part of the same issues. And as he gets older, that trouble with the breathing is only going to have more and more impact on him. And that's why we're doing this, is to get ahead of it. So he has to wear this splint. It's the external splint. I keep picking him up like that's going to help you see it, but I'm putting my hand on it. It's basically like a big old panel on his chest. It's like a hockey, like a knee pad or something. Think of like a solid, like a hockey knee pad that's made of like that plastic stuff, and it's on his chest. You just won't slow down for a second for long enough for me to even talk about it or show you anything. Anyway, it's like a big plastic thing that goes around the bottom part of his chest, and it's laced then to his rib cage, believe it or not. And the laces go in behind his ribs, and they basically just tighten it up like a shoe every week, and it pulls his little rib cage out. And then as he grows a little bit older, it sets that way, and then he's fine from then on. And we check the studies, and the studies say it doesn't, get him 100% to being, 100% normal, but it is a treatment that lasts, that will take care of him for his whole life. He won't need to have it again later on or anything like that. And it should be very effective in making sure that he has a great, normal, healthy, wonderful life. So I think it's all really, really good. Questions about, how long does he have to do it and all that kind of stuff. It's real simple, actually. We are going to take him into the vet in exactly 1 week from yesterday. So he'll be going in on Thursday. And on Thursday, he will get a new x-ray. Next Thursday is going to be a real busy day for me because they need to do like a reversible sedation to do the x-ray and all the examination and stuff. And it's like an hour drive from here, or sometimes it's a bit more in traffic. So I have to drive him out there in the morning and drop him off and drive all the way back. And then in the afternoon, I'll have to drive all the way back out again and pick him up and come back again. So it's going to be one of those days where they're going to be like, there's not going to be a close-up. There's no way. But also probably the day that the new mom cat will decide to deliver her kittens, right? Because that's just how things work. I should probably mention in advance that if that is the case, just fingers crossed that the new mom cat doesn't need us around for much, but we'll find a way. Also, the vet that he goes to is a 24-hour emergency hospital. So if we have to just leave him there a little extra long, I know they won't complain. They'll be like, oh, this is the best. So we'll definitely give a priority to the new mom cat if it comes to that. Let's see. So he's got an appointment to go back for his first recheck on Thursday. That's 1 week from when we picked him up. And at that point, they'll be able to start to do an evaluation of, how long he might need to do it, but we're going to just keep an eye on it the whole time. They expect it will be 4 to 8 weeks. For some reason, she thinks that it'll be closer to the 8 weeks side of things because his case was actually pretty severe. So they think that it might be 8 weeks, and we'll probably bring him back every week or 2 weeks, depending on how he does. And we'll just sort of watch as we're going. But right now, the plan is for him to go back to the vet every week or 2 weeks for the next 8 weeks, and then he'll probably get to have it off and be done. So that's how we do it. I wanted to mention, you guys said thanks. I saw Karen say thanks, and I saw a lot of people say thanks. Thank you. And I do want to say thank you because, as I've mentioned before, we take all of the Patreon donations that we don't spend on food and shelter and medical care for the kittens and all the things, litter, the stuff that we do for the kittens. All the money that doesn't get spent, we save, and we save it for things exactly like this, so that when this comes up, we've got what I've been calling, trying to make a joke out of it, a war chest, to deal with things exactly like this, and we do. So, as I've mentioned, we had plenty to take care of this, even though this is, I think, possibly the single most expensive single medical thing that has happened at Kitten Academy. I wanted to tell you guys. So first off, thank you. I can't say it enough. I really mean it. Thank you so much for that, and having set us up in such a wonderful way to make sure these kittens have the very best of everything. But I also wanted to mention that, without getting into the numbers too much, the actual charges for him were $1,000 lower than the lowest estimate. So it came out much, much less expensive than we were worried about, and that's also pretty nice. They had to give us a big refund. Of course, I imagine there's going to be charges every couple weeks now going on, but they won't be nearly as much. And that's it. I don't want to talk about the money too much, except to say thank you and to say how happy we are that it turned out to be much less of an expense than we'd even planned on. So I think I covered everything, and I said this, I wanted to make this a short close-up, and I totally failed at that, because if we ended now, it would be just about average length. So my apologies. I do that almost every time. I'm like, oh, let's do this quick, and then we never do. But I think I've covered everything. The important notes for anybody coming in at the very last minute, of course, is that Millet is doing great after his surgery, and we're really happy about it. But he's got to stay in this room when we're not watching him. So he's going to spend a lot of time in here. We might be able to get it onto the stream here and there. There is a camera, but it's not a great view. And he likes to sleep in the places that aren't too visible, so I wouldn't count on seeing him on the stream. Plus, the whole point of having him in this room is that he doesn't get up to much. So he likes to spend his time at the door complaining, but what we really want is for him just to spend his time napping. And he doesn't do as much of that as we would like yet, but hopefully he'll start to figure it out. He's climbing me and snuggling. He's the sweetest little boy. So yes, the short recap. Okay, Millet's great. He's going to be in this room by himself most of the time by necessity, and then the oranges and everybody, they're just fine. Everything there is fantastic. We do know that Port has been a little hyper with her kids sometimes, and we're doing our best to minimize that, but I want you to know nobody's getting hurt, and we're definitely keeping an eye on it, and we're well aware of it. So like I said, we're going to do our best to minimize it. And then, of course, the biggest news is that on Saturday afternoon, Flower and Corn are getting adopted, and on Saturday evening, that will be late in the evening, we're expecting a new mom cat to come to the annex. And that's it. So if you want to keep watching all of the kittens and cats at Kitten Academy until our next close-up, which would be Sunday at the soonest, you can just tune into the regular Kitten Academy live stream. You can watch them 24 hours a day. I'm sorry, Millet, you don't get to come out right now. You'll definitely get to hang out later. Oh, I wanted to mention one other thing about Millet before we go. I was going to just show you the annex and the work on it so far. Still a little bit more to do to get it set up for the mom cat, but everything is so clean right now. Hey, who are you? Sid, what are you doing all the way up here? Do you remember this room? He's like, it didn't look like this when I left it. Now we got to get him out from this giant pile of everything that goes in the annex. So that's the one other thing I wanted to mention is that, yes, Millet did get to see Corn and Flower yesterday for a while, and we'll probably get to see Corn and Flower again before he goes. Only, of course, very closely supervised, because it only takes a second for either one of them to decide it would be fun to wrestle. But I will tell you that at least so far, Corn loved seeing his brother, and they were fine together. And they were sort of grooming each other. And I think Corn is starting to get jealous that now he's the only one in the family without a secret agent suit. So Corn got to see him. And then Flower wasn't quite as fun with it. She was confused about little Millet and not as happy, I guess, to see him. So that part, not the mother and child reunion of Paul Simon, but she did get to see him a little bit, and it wasn't too bad. And she'll get to see him again before she goes. So that's what I wanted you to know, because I know everybody was asking, did Millet get to see Corn and Flower, and will he get to see them again? And yes. So that's it. Okay, now we're really done. I'm going to get Sid out of here. Today, my priorities are to just sort of spread this stuff out. I'm going to take care of most of this tomorrow, I think, between the time that Corn and Flower go and the time that the new mom shows up. And then the other big priority is to do a photo shoot with Sid and family and get all that published. That's my real, number one thing that I want to make sure gets done today, because it's getting more and more important. Okay. We got, who is this one? Is this Rotterdam? No, this looks like Puget. Let's see. It is Puget. You got to really look for that collar under the floof to know for sure. Sid and Puget found their way all the way up here to say hi to me. They probably heard me talking and wanted something more interesting than whatever's going on downstairs. All right, let's bring them back downstairs. That's it. We're done. Okay, plenty. I've said plenty. I went way longer than I wanted, but I love talking to you guys. I love the good questions. I really appreciate that. And I appreciate everything that you guys do for these kittens, because it really counts for a lot. So thank you for that. And we will do another close-up, like I said, as soon as Sunday. But in the meantime, Kitten Academy live stream, the place to go if you want to see what these kids are up to. Also, our Twitter, I tend to tweet a lot. Oh, and our website. If we do get that photo shoot done, that's where all the photos will end up. All right. Thanks, everybody. Got to gather these kids and get them back downstairs. Corn and Millet both want out, but they got to wait until these guys are clear, I think. Especially Millet, who we got to keep an eye on. Okay, really done. Really. And here's Corn asking to come out. All right, see you guys. And say goodbye to everybody. Come on, let's see your pretty face so they can say goodbye. Auntie, here, don't play with the fabric softener. You might end up floofy like Puget.